What up, though, everybody? It is Chris Platte, the Rap Cave Podcast. We are back for a side quest. We are bringing side quests back on the channel to get you guys more content, and I couldn't think of a better way to bring back the side quest than to talk about people talking. We got DJ Akademiks versus Charlamange. They finally sat down. There was weeks of rumors, of streams of them going back and forth at each other. Never too disrespectfully, obviously, but I mean that just there's one side, there's apparently Roc Nation affiliation, the other side's apparently Drake affiliation. Everything's got to be a war today, and so Akademiks and Charlamange sat down for 2 hours, and I think it was like 53 minutes or 45 minutes, something like that. It was damn near 3 hours of content, 3 hours of conversation. Watched it all. And I guess we'll just start with the talking point of who won because I think the winner is clear, but I'm hearing totally different answers when I go to other places. Who do you guys think won that battle? Or do you not even see a winner? Because it was just kind of a bunch of debates. I'll start with you, Birdie.
Obviously, I'm a chat nigga, so I'm gonna obviously say Akademiks. But just talking from I mean, if it come down to like a internet debate, that conversation, sure, you can go either way, however you felt, who won what. But when it come to like real life, like you my man's type shit, like I definitely think Ak was in the right for how he felt about everything that happened and how situations played out and shit like that. Cause I just feel like if you Charlamagne and you my man's, like cool. The debate, you know what I'm saying? How his little debating tactics, you know what I'm saying? Him swiveling around questions, just that and the third. If y'all want to say he won, that's fine. But when it comes to like a real life perspective, it's almost like disrespectful for you to be my man's and acting the way you acting. You know what I'm saying? It's things like it be shit like Akademiks will say some shit like. Yeah, Charlamagne say he was gone, talk to some people at Roc Nation and call me on Monday and have a conversation with them or whatever. And it's like, what do you mean go talk to some people at Roc Nation when you keep saying that you said publicly that like you're good friends with Desiree Perez? Why ain't you just going to go talk to Desiree Perez? That is Roc Nation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like little sneaky shit like that. I just be like listening to Charlamagne, like, yeah, you just you here to like win a debate, but you ain't even really in it because you don't even know all the ins and outs and everything that Akademiks talking about and pointing out. Mm-hmm. You out of the loop damn near halfway, but yet still somehow in the way. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my beliefs.
That's what I'm thinking because like I'm glad you said that part because to me one of the things that stuck out about this debate right away was that Ak was entrenched in his thoughts. And Charlamagne was the one who was, and you know, like, look, Charlamagne's, you know, he's past just interviewing rappers, you know, like he's doing a whole bunch of shit. He's running a network, and you could tell that, you know, like he's been interviewing political figures and all that. And so I think that he's not as entrenched in what's going on right now, especially, I mean, a lot of it was just Akademiks' perspective at the end of the day, but a lot of it was. Ak was very entrenched in what he was talking about, whereas Charlamagne, you kind of seen like when some of his points weren't landed because I saw the Joe Budden podcast say that, you know, Akademiks got his ass kicked, and I'm like, all right, that's just old heads sticking. That's just old heads sticking together because what I saw, both not even okay, forget the live chat because the live chat we know Akademiks presence that probably was a majority of Akademiks fans, but when you look at just like the way the conversations were going, it was like Akademiks was sticking them with every point, and then Charlamagne would just be like switch into like this Jedi mind trick OG role of like, which I'm not saying that was all disingenuous, but I am saying that was like clearly a debate tactic. Like I saw, and I'm glad I watched Joe Budden's breakdown of it because I couldn't disagree more. Because Joe was saying how like, you know, Akademiks pointed out on stream right after the video aired that that the website that Charlamagne was referencing with the story was all AI, and it was AI generated and it was fake and this and that, and so Akademiks actually called that out while they were live, like literally while they were live. He was like, "I'm not gonna lie." He's like, "That shit don't sound credible." Charlamagne's like, "No, trust me, it's very credible. It's very credible." He looked it up. The guy don't even exist. The fucking website was made like 2 days before Drake's album or whatever. He wrote like 150 articles in like 10 days or some shit. I saw a clip breaking it down, and it's like to me, I don't understand how you can say that Charlamagne won it. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, to me, this wasn't something you necessarily win or lose, because I think they both had valid points on some things. And they both kind of just really just were saying the things that they wanted, that what they wanted to say, because like Charlamagne's whole point was, you sent this George dude to just the Grand Wizard, the guy who runs Akademiks TV. You sent him on this like hate campaign against me. Like, why would you do that when all I did was give you information on some potential, sly stuff that was happening, which again, depending on if you believe the reports or not is true or not. But that was Charlamagne's whole thing. And then Akademiks' whole thing was that Roc Nation is out to get me. You're in the way. You're part of it. Blah blah blah. But I was impressed. It was two like highly intelligent people kind of debating their angles and their points. And before I get to my next question, did you watch it as well?
I did.
So what did you think of it? What did you take away from it?
I honestly saw it as Akademiks set this up like strategically. You know what I mean? I felt like Charlamagne did a lot of, like y'all saying, like he was doing a lot of fluff, like acting like he didn't understand certain things or didn't or wasn't privy to certain things that he definitely was. And I feel like Akademiks set this up in a way to kind of put it out on the, like, to show all of the people like what these conversations are like when you confront people about this subject.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I felt like it was a strategic move, and it kind of exposed exposed Charlamagne in a way, to me. But in the grand scheme, it's not gonna matter.
What do you mean by like expose?
Not expose is a bad word. But I definitely mean it in the same context. When I say exposed, I mean like it was a lot of questions that Akademiks asked them that it was like, I didn't know, or or how does A apply to B when like you can see a direct trail of why you have interest here, or,
yes,
you know what I'm saying, like all of these things that Charlamagne has going on, and he tried to like deflect as if like these are like mere coincidence. So I just felt like he Akademiks did this to show everybody, like in a way show everybody I'm not tripping. And you know what I'm saying, we going back and forth. I want y'all to see I'm not tripping.
I think there was a bit of triple. Look, I'll put it to you like this. Charlamagne, to me, at times in this debate looked again, they both overall looked good. I mean, these were highly smart people, but Charlamagne at times looked like he was elusive. He was uninformed or not entrenched in the topics that were being discussed, and would kind of revert back to 1, 2, or 3 points, and then when that didn't work, he would kind of pivot to his angle, and then at Akademiks,
you could definitely
his OG
see the
angle. Yeah, 100%. You could see that's what you could see from it. It was a good performance of like actual debate tactics where it's like now we're not even arguing about the conversation itself. Don't you care about me? I care about you. You know, like trying to like flip things on its head. So which again is a smart thing to do in terms of debating, especially with somebody that has you know so much reverence for you. Academics for Charlamagne. And then there was at times where despite how polished Act looked, in terms of his focus, I do believe the stuff that Charlamagne's pointing out, and I've felt this way even before Charlamagne said it, but the whole manic thing, and you saw Act's ego on full display when he was like, you need to, Jay-Z and Roc Nation should have me for PR because look what I can do. Look at my pop. It was a very much like Act flexing his muscle a lot or trying to, and then the whole like Roc Nation thing, they're out to get me thing, which I don't personally think it's as deep as Act makes it. I think Act wants to be. I think Act likes the image that he is portraying himself. I think he's very smart and aware of narratives, as you could tell by the way that he talked about narratives that whole interview. So I think the interview that he's trying to craft for himself, that he has to, move a certain way and he has to do this and do that because he's got enemies that want to come for him and all that stuff. And I don't necessarily think it's to that. I don't think it's to that level at all. Well, but I think he likes.
That's theatrics though. Like he literally said that like on his stream.
Okay.
On the interview.
Did he? I didn't catch that part.
Yeah. No, like it was like one part where Charlamagne was like, "He's saying shit like Roc Nation's out to kill you," and then he just like interjected real quick. He was like, "That's theatrics."
Okay. Then that part is fair to me. And then, there was one thing that stood out to me when he talked about, and this will kind of come back. This will kind of come back to my next and pretty much one of my final questions here on this convo is, so Act talked about and boasted about the fact that that him kind of holding Drake down during the battle and what that did for Drake's image, because there was a lot of people trying to kick his back in. There was a lot of stuff going against him, and he felt like himself going, above and beyond for Drake was really, really a big help because of how big his platform is and this and that. And so it brings me to my point of you and I, and this is why I definitely had to do this video and I had to do it with you, is the journalism point thing that I like to hammer home, because I think you can walk away from both of this, or from this, and saying you can walk away from this situation and say both of these people are compromised. Like Charlamagne has business ventures with Jay-Z, clearly an affinity for Jay-Z. The way he answered his questions, the way he talked about his relationships with Roc Nation, you definitely come away believing that there's a rooted interest. That's one of the most powerful voices in hip hop media. Academics, who's also one of, if not the most powerful voice in hip hop, was talking about how he influenced and helped and went above and beyond to protect Drake and all of that, and I still don't understand why nobody really tries to press him about the Grand Wizard stuff, like in terms of like nobody having like Act doesn't have, like Act, he does his own thing, but not like Act can't tell him what to do. Like Act can clearly tell him what to do, but my whole point with this, and my whole question with this is that it seems like a lot of the people at the top, and we know Joe Budden, if we want to bring him into it, the other big component in here, like he has all the TD allegation rumors and stuff, and of like, just being very pro TD and being allegedly paid and, funneled to support TD. I don't believe that. I just believe he has a bias and a love towards TD. But
it ain't even gotta be TDE. Didn't you see when Joe said he ain't covering no more Roc Nation type news because he's done business with them and he has relationships with them.
No,
So
but
he-
that makes 100% sense that Joe would say that. So I don't even doubt that for 1 second.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So-
TD, Roc Nation, whatever. But so when you take a step back, everybody at the top looks compromised. That's why, again, shout out my guy Rob Markman. I just think he's the truth in this, and he's an important pillar. But obviously, he's not on the level of these people. So my question to you guys is: when you guys are consuming this content, do you think about the angle in which somebody is delivering their points, like a Charlamagne, like a Act, like a Joe, or do you not care at all? Or do you kind of just innately understand it? Like, what do you feel about the idea that the biggest voices in our medium are all talking from with some type of angle in their messaging? Does that bother you? Do you think anything? Do you think anything of it? Or do you just pay it no mind? Like, what do you think? What do you think of it? Of that part, or do you guys like even disagree with it?
I think there has never been a point in time, and I think this is for any single body, including Mez, Rob, Markman, all of them, whenever they did their work, they always had somebody who they favorited more than others. That's just natural. That's a normal thing to do. So to say that Charlamagne is compromised, Joe Budden is compromised, this, that, and the third, Akademiks compromised, this, that, and the third, it's like, are they really compromised, or are you just, or how do I put it? Are they really compromised, or do you not like the fact that they put it out on display? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't like the fact that they don't put it out on display, then that's one thing. But it's like, it's always been a thing to where you can't say that it's not a thing for everybody. It really is. We already know that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what I think, at least. Everybody has their favorites. No matter how they deliver news, this, that, and the third, it's just a thing. You just know who's favorite and who, and
Do you
like
think?
that.
Do you think the most regular people consuming their content do, or do you think that are aware of that, or do you think that that's something that somebody like you and all of us who are working in this space, like, we just kind of understand it at a deeper level? Do you think that that's a surface level thought, or something that's a bit deeper?
I think
it's surface level, because it's like, who don't know this by now, that everybody who does journalism doesn't have a certain type of bias or a certain type of favorite, or somebody that they want to pick on or spin a narrative on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you 18 plus years old and you don't know that people have biases, favorites, and shit like that, then it's gonna be a real rude awakening, I would say, coming for you.
Zeus?
I think every medium leans to a certain way or the other. I don't think there is ever I don't ever think anybody calls it down the middle for every single thing. I just don't believe that's true or possible. Everybody has their personal allegiances that they have in their minds of what they like, and that's what makes us all individuals. So if I feel like, and now with social media, it's so easy to feel validated in whatever you feel. You know what I mean? Like, whatever feeling you have, you can always you can find validation now more than ever. So I think you have to take that into account when you are evaluating what mediums you're going to listen to, because we're all individuals, and the people at the heads feel how they feel. So usually the way that the head feels is what the way the body moves, and so you just got to take that into account when you're watching when you're watching content. Some guy it's obvious usually who it's obvious usually who's not messing with who because they'll play less of their music, they'll interact with them less. You know, you can that's that's pretty consistent across mediums when you cross over into broadcasting and what news station you want to listen to, what radio station you're going to listen to. So yeah, all of that should be taken into account, and you should always expect that when consuming media. I think.
Listen, when I listen to motherfucking Skip Bayless talk, I don't expect him to cover LeBron. How if I listen to fucking Shannon Sharp, you know what I'm saying, cover his sports media, you know what I'm saying. But as long I feel like it's better if you put it on public display, whether than for somebody to have to dissect and figure out if this platform is pro whatever or in support of whatever. Because I don't see a problem with being in support of your favorite individual when you gonna do it anyway, whether you say it publicly or not. So I feel like by default it's like you should actually, you know, put that out there for the people to know. So if they want to know if they want to consume your content or not, you know what I'm saying, instead of trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, the pieces.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I kind of disagree with both of you guys on the fact that that's surface level. I don't think a lot of people really understand those things or pay attention to those nuances like that. I think they gravitate to something because of whatever reason that they like it, and I think that a lot of people they don't think at it deeper. I think we're in a room right now full of people that are super passionate about hip hop and super aware of things and have been having these types of conversations for months, if not years. So it's kind of entrenched in us. So I don't think that is something that that is surface level. I do think that that's something more in the depths. And I think that there's just that balance of journalism, like when it comes to like you got like it's factually correct that everybody has preferences. Like you can't you could try your ass off to be objective and fair like I do and a lot of people do. And ultimately you still will have things that you just tend to gravitate to more, tend to like more, or tend to dislike. That's all true and fair, but the thing that has always been my point when it comes to the journalism portion is that look, the media is just different now. Like, it's not just a bunch of broadcasters and journalists. Now it's a lot of content creators, and we are like you said. I mean, it's very easy for you to find a group of people that have that same interest. I think that same mentality, whether it be preference for an artist or preference for a political view or whatever. It's very easy to find the groups of people in the internet now because it's connected all of us and it's given everybody access. So as a result, you've seen people become less journalists and more content creators. And Spencer always says that on our show at the Woodward Heavyweights, and I agree that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are content creators, but they don't come at it from a journalist point because, let's be honest, I mean, nobody writes anymore. Damn near nobody writes anymore. So journalism, that in and of itself is almost a bit of a dead word, unfortunately. There are people that are doing it, so shout out to them. But for the most part, journalism now just means, are you being fair? Are you being objective? And to me, there is a difference between having an innate bias and letting that bias be known versus saying things like like the Lil Baby payola. Like I took fucking 20. What do you say? Like 25,000 or whatever. To not shit on Lil Baby's album. And look, that's a business move. Whatever. Like my whole thing has been academics, and not just academics specifically, but a lot of people. Charlamagne even in this lane too. Like, you guys aren't journalists. Like, stop calling yourself journalists. You're using that to build this false sense of transparency, when really you do have your own agendas. Like Academics does say, he boasts about being the best journalist in this space, and he does have journalistic qualities that he used, like his detective skills, like as far as like figuring things out, and all of that is very, like, those are principles and skills that a journalist has. But you are not a journalist when you are saying that, hey, look, the media is kicking Drake's back in, and it's unfair, So I am now on the offense to pro Drake to balance the force. That is not being a journalist. That is an incentive. That is a choice that you are making. Charlamagne, the same thing.
Reporting though that will make him not be a journalist.
I'm going by his words.
I know what I'm saying. Even if he in favor of something, like, what is he reporting that's off as a journalist? Even though he did say that, like, that's just, to me, like, when he say something like that, it's more so because, like, he's saying, like, he had to fight 1,000 niggas off. You know what I'm saying? He kind of just flexing for real. Like, it's like more of a flex. It's not like
for
journalism.
Sure. I think
it's not like a headline. It's not like something you report. So it's like, what is he reporting that actually affect his journalism?
Well, journalism isn't entirely reporting. Reporting is an aspect of journalism. Journalism is covering.
Right.
So like,
what is he covering?
I mean, he covered the battle. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm saying, like, that's off though. That would make you say that he's not a journalist. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, most of the acts.
And then another thing too, I just want to ask real quick before I forget, because I was just thinking this and I don't want to forget or whatever. Do you think actually calling yourself and throwing yourself out there to be labeled as a journalist is actually important in 2026?
I think that absolutely striving for journalistic integrity is important in 2026. I know that most people, again, they prefer to find the content that fits their voice, that fits their vibe, that fits what they are looking for. That's why I said a lot of this is to me, like, it doesn't reach past the surface level, because people do now just want to like what they like, because there's so much. There's an article written about it when I was in college, and I wish I could remember who the reporter was that wrote that story, but it was a great story about how the access has actually flipped in media, and now, because there's so many platforms, that people stopped looking for what they deem to be the truth, and they are looking and gravitating towards the things that they like. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. Again, I think that their content creators are very important. I'm a content creator. I get paid to be a content creator. So I am not trying to diminish the role of a content creator. I just like to create that separation between the two, because a lot of people out here aren't practicing journalism, and journalism has now become one of those code words for kind of being fair or being objective. And then I think when you are smart and you are using it that way, and you are bragging about how you have the ability to be the best PR in the game for somebody, which I don't disagree with that, by the way. Akademiks absolutely is the most powerful person in hip hop media. I think that he can absolutely transform narratives on people and their careers, which is why I don't necessarily zero in on him, because I have grown to understand that there is that content creation, there is that theatrics that comes with them. There are those times where he does, dig into things and actually educate his audience a lot on what's going on. So again, this isn't a gotcha thing for academics. This is just a more so a thing when it comes to separating journalism and journalists and content creators, because those are two different things, and I think they're both important in this space. I think you need people that are reporting fairly, that are even covering things fairly, and I think you need people that are content creators that give people insight in a way that is entertaining, that is engaging to them. Because like Akademiks makes hip hop more interesting for a lot of people. There are people. Charlamagne makes hip hop more interesting for a lot of people. Joe Budden the same. And Charlamagne, he just, like, during this interview when he goes, yeah, everybody knew that I was in business with Roc Nation and all that, and it was just like, no, we didn't. Like, no, we didn't, man. Like, come on, like, you're not being a journalist, you're a content creator. But I never hear Charlamagne say that I'm a journalist.
Yeah, I don't really see him
That's to me the only separation of that. And I think it's important, and that's something I want our audience here at the Rap Cave and just people in general to take away, is that look, there is ways to the truth, and honestly, even if you just like the content you like, but you are aware of the potential angles and campaigns that are being ran, then yeah, like I said, a great example of that is Needle Drop. I only agree with that guy like 30% of the time, maybe less. I think I don't know, somebody I disagree with more, but I know for the most part, outside of a few people, he comes from a completely neutral perspective on the artist. He's a guy who stays in his house. He doesn't give a damn about what any artist thinks, outside of a few artists that he had personal beefs with. So I know that when those ratings are a little bit different, but I value the fact of that he is someone that is for the most part objective, and that's a different angle. That's like, that's a different angle than Akademiks or Charlamagne and all that. That's a whole different lane, just music reviewing. But I think that that there's just an importance to separate journalism and content creation in this day, because I think that a lot of people can use those as code words to kind of paint and control narratives and influence. And that's what I don't like, is I don't like influencing people without their knowledge, under the guise of being fair. Just like I didn't like how Charlamagne just immediately switched to OG when he was wrong. When he was wrong in this shit, he was just like, yeah, but don't be me, like, be better, all that stuff. And I was just like, come on, man, like, just like, I'm not saying it can't all be true, because I don't know their relationship, but like, dude, if you get a point wrong, you can't just flip to this, like, now all of a sudden, like, I'm only doing this because I care about you. Like, right. No, man, like, yeah. No, man, you're wrong.
Yeah, that was my only thing with Charlamagne, like act kind of looking at it like some real life shit, and it was almost like, I ain't gonna say Charlamagne kind of see it as like a joke or a game, but it's just like he ain't take it serious enough for me, because you came in too unprepared on shit that you should have known when you came to this debate. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't have been that many moments where you sitting there dumbfounded about some shit, Act telling you that he done preached on stream for probably the past 2.5, 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Going through this shit with you. So it's like,
and I'm glad they did that stream, because like, and I'm glad I went to journalism school at Michigan State, because I don't know if you guys quite caught it, but like, it was like the second Charlamagne, like even when he read the website, like I was immediately saying in my head what Akademiks was saying, like this shit sounds fake as fuck, like inverse, like
literally. I swear to God, when I heard it, like inverse, what?
Bro, and then that title, it was like system of culture analyst.
And then the thing is, like, I get it, like certain. Well, I don't really know what, like, I forgot what BBC stand for as CNN and shit, but it's like. Websites that report certain shit is like the website name be like fit for that brand or that lane of what they like. What the fuck is inverse? What was it, inverse wire or some shit?
Yeah, like, inverse wire or some shit. That shit sounds
like,
made up.
What is this?
And then the other part that killed me too was like the fact that it was a gotcha piece. Exactly. Like it was like, but wait. That's not even the real trick. Like that's how you know it's not journalism, because you're not reporting facts. You're clearly starting at the story at the top and you're saying watch how messed up this is, and it's just like but wait, there's more. Grand Wizard is tied to this case or that case, and like it was all a bunch of just like literal word salad. Like it wasn't like the points that were being connected were not connected at all. It was just like man, and for Charlamagne to just look there and I heard it in his voice too. I heard it in his voice. I seen it in his body language. He knew he was fucking lying there. Like, you believe it? Acts like you believe that side. He's like, yeah, that's credible. That shit killed me.
I can't take Joe Budden serious talking about Act guy's ass kicked. Like, bro, it was too many I don't know. Did that really happen? Look at this bullshit ass website that got y'all names on it. It's incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much. Like, bro, that shit just automatically just disqualifies me. To me, that's like battle rap. Like, you know how like in battle rap, like motherfucking, it's not necessarily like the same analogy, but like this is what it remind me of. It's like in battle rap, like you'll go up there, you'll do an amazing performance, but like somebody a week later exposed they wrote half that shit for you, bro, you lost.
Yeah.
You lost. Yeah. It's over. Like once you get exposed, it's over. You lost. There's no coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying like coming back from like Charlamagne about the
no. Yeah.
Like that, but
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, it was so funny when Joe was like, hey man, why didn't Act exposed that website is fake and all that, but he didn't do it live on air. Brother, what? Like he called it out on air, and then he got on stream immediately after the video and he was like, oh yep, sure as shit, I was right. like what is there to do? Like you're supposed to like, you know, just break it down like on stream and be like, no, let's stop what we're doing. Let's give me 10 minutes and I'm gonna find out if this website is fake.
Hey, that nigga Joe paid about Roc Nation too. I don't care what nobody say. After he say he won't go say nothing no more about them, shit, you might as well be one of them too, nigga.
Fuck yeah. And
shout out to cannot be trusted.
Shout out to Joe, man.
Cannot be trusted.
Love Joe though. Yeah, shout out to Joe, man. Like I said, I just think that Joe's another person that I think uses that journalist word as a trigger word. I haven't really heard Charlamagne do it, but Joe does it too.
I do it.
Joe and Ag do it.
I do feel your point on that though. Like people use the journalist word to make themselves seem more fair. I just feel like that the audience that majority of the audience that they claim this journalist title to just doesn't care about journalism in general for that to be important enough to necessarily, you know what I'm saying, identify somebody as unbiased or anything in that.
And
lane, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there is natural biasness. I get that. It's just when you kind of it's just something that needs to be that needs to be like kind of defined more, because I do think that some people can just, you know, unfortunately kind of be taken advantage of. But I don't know. We'll see how this all plays out, man. I guess the closing words, would you guys care to have a Charlamagne and Joe sit down? I wouldn't. I would watch it, but I wouldn't, because Ack and Charlamagne, they had a point. Like they were going at each other. Like there was a reason to sit down. Charlamagne and Joe have no reason to go at each other right now, or they're not going at each other, so there's no reason to sit down unless they want to just chop it up.
Yeah, I think they more likely to do a show together before they do a debate. Honestly,
Yeah, that's what I think.
I'd rather see like a Joe and Drake sit down, after everything they done went through.
I wanted to see Joe and Cole. Cole did that entire press run and ducked Joe Budden. That was crazy to me. That was insane to me. That was unforgivable by Jermaine. He went everywhere but Joe Budden.
Yeah, that is disrespectful. Joe Budden, that's the biggest.
He went to Carmelo Anthony.
He did pull up on Melo.
he pulled up on Melo and said, "You know what, man? This is one of the best rap platforms we got. I want to pull up to this one."
do you fuck with Joe Budden?
No, I don't think so. I think J. Cole would pull up on anybody, to be honest. He pulled up on Adam 22 back in the day. I remember that. And Adam 22 was like, damn, I am a piece of shit. That guy is so nice. Like, J. Cole pulls up on anybody. I think if anything, it was Joe Budden being like, no, I don't want to do it. But, still, either way, that shit should have happened. That sit down 110% should have happened. But,
I want to see, like,
but Drake
can sit down like with one of his ops or somebody like Rory or Maul or my son or some shit and just cook one of them niggas just for hours
I thought,
straight.
wasn't my son one of the people he was cool? Isn't that the dude from like the Fresh and Fit podcast or whatever? Or am I thinking of somebody else? I think it's somebody else. I think.
I know he don't fuck with my son. No, so for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look, these sit downs are cool, but it's kind of like I don't want it to become the new trend where it's like a rap battle. Now everybody's got to sit down. Like we don't.
And a lot of niggas ain't important enough for us to care about a sit down. So
Yeah,
it's like,
especially for 3 hours.
This one been cooking up for a minute, like 2-3 months. So
Yeah.
it was kind of needed. You know what I'm saying? Like academics look at Charlamange like his man. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like that, but.
Yeah.
That nigga's not to be trusted, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I wouldn't trust that nigga. He could be my man. Hell no. I talk to Roc Nation. You mean Desiree Perez? Talk to some people at Roc Nation.
Well, even you see when he was
just
cornered.
friends.
You see when he was cornered sometimes. He'd make a joke to break tension. He'd be like, "Des, get him." I was like, that came right after you just got handed a point.
Literally.
Yeah.
As soon as you get served a little point. But George told on you.
Yeah.
George.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. But
that was a good ass little fucking. That was good content. For
it
sure.
was good content, man. I thought they did a good job. I'm glad that they didn't do this behind the scenes, and they put this on public for us to watch, because I think that is something that a lot of people should watch if they want to, take a, like, my biggest takeaway from it was the journalism point. I think that conversation showcases it in HD and 4K. So I'm excited, man. We got the Rap Cave tomorrow. As we're recording this, man, we're going to be live. But I knew I wasn't going to make my whole panel listening to a 3-hour Charlamagne and Akademiks combo. But we will have a full panel tomorrow. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. These are my boys. B. Mike Birdie, Zeus, AP holding it down on the 1s and 2s. And I am Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Pods. We appreciate y'all on the side quest. We're going to be doing a bunch more. This was a bit of a longer one, but we're going to be having a whole bunch of 5, 10, 15-minute videos cooking up. I cooked up a whole bunch of ideas, but I want to kind of build a whole bunch of side content to supplement in between the lives. And it's open door policy, gentlemen. Y'all got a topic you want? I don't even need to be here. You guys know you guys can come anytime, and we can always chop it up. But I can't wait to see how that all plays out. Until then, like, comment, share, subscribe, help the channel grow. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of Drake and Charlamagne and their debate. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Tap in.